Hello, everyone. We're just going to give a couple minutes for some more people to join. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and hopefully some more people join as we go along. Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation, How to Leverage Your Communication Offering to Stand Out from the Crowd. My name is Andrea Ayala, Channel Engagement Manager at Datto, and today I'm joined by Jonah Fink, President of Net2Phone. And before we get started, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items. First, this presentation is being recorded and will be made available for on-demand viewing on the Datto website within 24 hours. All attendees will be notified when the presentation is available. We will be holding a Q&A session at the end of the presentation, so if you have any questions for our panel, for myself or for Jonah, feel free to enter them in the chat panel or in the questions block within your GoToWebinar app. We will answer as many questions as time allows. I'm going to go ahead and kick some things off, do a quick introduction of myself, but I first wanted to say thank you to all of you for joining us today, taking the time out of your day to learn on how to leverage a successful communication offering. As I mentioned before, Datto has joined up with a great partner of ours, which is Net2Phone, on this webinar, and they're going to share some insight into the VoIP space a little bit later. But I wanted to quickly do a little intro to myself. So my name again is Andrea Ayala, and I work a lot with our vendor partners on things like DattoCon and things like our partner roadshows, as well as introducing some great partners like Net2Phone to our partner base. A quick little overview about Datto before we get started for those of you who do not know. Datto was founded in 2007. Our CEO, Austin McCord, started Datto in his basement of his parents' house. And in that time, we've grown to over 22 offices around the world, more than 1,400 employees worldwide and growing. Or I think this number is a little bit off now, but 55% are in support and development. I think it's much higher now that we've had a couple of new breakthroughs. More than 440 petabytes of data protected, 9 data centers, 14,000 customers, 500,000 small to medium-sized businesses served. And this is just a quick look of some of our offices. So for those of you who do not know, in 2017, we merged with Autotask to become one combined unit of Datto. And generally speaking, we're trying to create the complete business and technology software suite. So between professional services and automation, remote monitoring and endpoint management, as well as a total protection and business continuity suite, we're creating one platform to unify solutions within the IT channel. Quickly, to go over some of the suite of products that we offer. And on the continuity side, we are working with devices that back up data locally, virtually, and physically on the device, as well as in the cloud. And when we say continuity, we're talking about not just peace of mind and creating that peace of mind when you're working with your clients, but also delivering, product offerings to keep your business up and running, say if a disaster happens. And how we do that is by a couple of ways. We're taking image-based backups, so our Cirrus, Alto, and NAS continuity devices take image-based backups, so that way you're replicating your whole infrastructure instead of just taking small backups of folders. we also, which kind of sets us apart, instantly virtualize a lot of our data. So if your system goes down and there's a ransomware attack, we can up your machine within 6 seconds to get you back up and running. And that's just one part of the suite of solutions. We also have our networking appliances, which provide Wi-Fi and routers and switches, as well as fast failover. And then again, our business management solutions, which come from our Autotask side, all into one partner portal. So just some key takeaways from this before we get Jonah started. Datto is an MSP, 100% MSP focused company. We're channel only, so we sell only to MSPs. We also sell backup and business management solutions that deliver true continuity. And again, we have an open partner-centric solutions with an open ecosystem. So we work with a lot of vendor partners. We integrate with a lot of vendor partners, just like Jonah with Net2Phone. So that's my side of the story. If you have any questions for Datto, you want to get some sort of tools, presentations, or anything like that, feel free to email abc@datto.com or myself. My email is up here. But now I'm going to kick it off to Jonah, who's going to get into the thick of the content. So I'll just here.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrea, for that introduction. Thank you very much for all of the work and the partnership that Net2Phone has with Datto. It's a partnership which is growing. It's a partnership that Net2Phone is leveraging with Datto. As I will explain in the upcoming slides, the MSP community is an integral part of Net2Phone's partnership program. In these slides, it's going to be very, very tilted and weighed towards the MSP managed service provider benefits of working with Net2Phone. And again, Datto has served as a fantastic baseline, as a fantastic community in order for Net2Phone to partner with Datto, in order for us to educate and present our Net2Phone hosted PBX, cloud telephony, and unified communications as a solutions business. The upcoming slides, I think, will also be able to capture what is the difference between hosted PBX and unified communications. And I think we as Net2Phone do a very good job of being able to hone in on both the baseline offering of hosted PBX and how we look to grow into unified communications as well. I also want to take this opportunity to thank my partner in crime, Denise D'Arienzo, which is Net2Phone's channel marketing manager, who is instrumental not only working with Datto in terms of expanding our partnership, but also was an integral individual in terms of developing the presentation that you're seeing this afternoon. And with that, we'll go to the second slide. So the whole idea behind this webinar is really for us to show that MSPs, managed service providers, are a key partner profile within the Net2Phone channel partner ecosystem. It stands for managed service provider. I like to refer to as my service provider. I think businesses have a wonderful, fantastic, trustworthy relationship with their MSPs, as we'll take note in the future slides. Not only is the end customer relying on the MSP for a solution like Net2Phone, but the end business customer relies on their MSP, their managed service provider, for many ancillary technology elements to their business network. So therefore, the trust factor is there. Net2Phone has seen that time and time again. Before we go into the next slide, I will call out the difference between Net2Phone selling our hosted solution through what we classify as a traditional telecom VAR, a telecom value-added reseller. Maybe they have more experience with selling a piece of equipment, whereas a managed service provider really understands at their core the idea behind recurring revenues, behind SaaS, behind cloud. And let's face it, there's been much more of a rapid, efficient adoption of the cloud, I would say, at the MSP level than there is at the telecom VAR level. That is why we invest in our relationship with Datto. That is why our channel program has a very strong tilt towards the MSP community. So let's talk a little bit about the opportunity, and the opportunity is really developed by the end user experience. Gone are the days of the hard piece of equipment, the on-premise equipment, whether it's the Toshiba, the Panasonic, physical PBX, or I like to call it spider webs, that are in the business. As I mentioned a moment ago, managed service providers have adopted the cloud. The cloud for them serves as a nucleus to be able to allow for non-premise equipment managed services. I can't think of a better adoption of that methodology for cloud telephony. The cloud has really served as the glue behind the actual network in terms of the actual internet, the actual network, and the telephony being off-premise. The idea now of being able to take your laptop and plug it in directly into your Ethernet to jump online and to go to google.com is the same way you're going to be able to take your laptop or your Polycom phone and plug it in and go directly to netaphone.com. And that's going to happen in real-time communication. So therefore, MSPs, getting back to that trust factor, they really serve as the external chief information officer or the chief technology officer of the business. They're constantly consulting the business. What are the most efficient tool sets that the business can use in order to optimize their business, both operationally and many times commercially? And again, net2phone's cloud telephony solutions, I think, fit perfectly into the mission statement of the managed service provider, which is really the trusted advisor of the end user when it comes to ancillary technology elements such as voice over IP. So when you take a look at the market scope, there's over 25 million businesses in the United States alone. As you walk down Main Street, every individual that is listening on to this webinar, including myself, we are all familiar with our local main streets in our communities. We all realize that the local real estate agencies, dental practices, law firms, and insurance boutique firms are all there on Main Street, ready to be educated by their MSP. At net2phone, we wholeheartedly believe that the MSPs need to be educators. They need to educate mainstream America that the days of old of physical, on-premise, very costly and clunky equipment are over. The days of truck rolls, being able to have to call Verizon to install a new phone line, which is going to take 3.5 weeks, and we all pray that the truck will show on time and we'll be able to have another dial tone, are over. Flip of the switch. With net2phone, you're able to have cloud telephony at your fingertips in a heartbeat. And as we touched on before, beyond cloud telephony or hosted PBX, net2phone is going upstream with our product roadmap. In the same net2phone offering, you're going to have chat, text, messaging, my favorite, which is WebRTC, real-time communication, the ability to go to net2phone.com and be able to make a phone call directly from your computer, directly from your mobile app, directly from your Polycom phone to receive calls. Most importantly, managed service providers love technology, and because of the love of the technology and they embrace technology, they do a fantastic job of giving over technology and its efficiencies to its business users. net2phone has developed portals and interfaces which will allow both the managed service provider and the end user business client to be able to manage their telephony features themselves. As a few examples, if I am a real estate office or even a food caterer, if you will, I'll be able to program my own welcome greeting so that when you call my business, press 1 for sales, press 2 for catering, press 3 for reservations. I'll be able to do that myself as a managed service provider, either for my customer or my business customer could do it themselves. The ability to be able to program different departments and hunt groups and queues, all the methodology that the old school incumbents would use in their office to be able to help their users, our users can do themselves today using net2phone and our portal interface. And our users, net2phone really has two sets of customers. We have our end business customers, but we also have our partners. And our partners are really our customers as well. And we've developed our tool sets to enable our managed service providers in order to program and configure and modify with a flip of the switch on the dime for our customers to be able to have the most efficient and seamless cloud telephony solution in the industry. The marketplace. Now, what net2phone really looks to address is net2phone looks to bring together all the different fragmented offerings that are in the marketplace. I think this slide, beyond being called the marketplace, I would call this slide the problem statement. The problem statement is that if I'm a business in Main Street America and I want a phone line, perhaps a business would tend to call Verizon. If I wanted to be able to use email support or ticket support, perhaps we would go and we'd look at a company like a Zendesk or a Freshdesk. Live chat, if I'm a company that wants to be a little bit more millennial, a little bit more virtual, and I want to be able to provide customer service or customer communication through my website, I would turn to a company like Live Chat. Now notice, underneath those different boxes of services, there's a price tag under each service offering. And when it's all said and done, you're looking at $140 per month of these type of tool sets in order for the business to have business phone communications, business chat communications, and ticketing systems of all different sorts. What net2phone is looking to achieve is net2phone is really looking to achieve the idea of unifying communications. And that's why I said before at the introduction of this presentation, hosted PBX is one thing. That means bringing your phone system over the cloud is hosted PBX. But what about now adding on more methodologies and ideas behind communication, messaging, and chat? So now through this single net2phone dashboard, I'm able to make a phone call. I'm able to receive a call. I'm able to send a text message from my business phone number. So just to give a very rudimentary example of what that means, when I call every week the dry cleaners and I call the phone number on the bag of the dry cleaners, please pick up Jonah Fink's dry cleaning, I will now be able to send a text message to the business phone number. We all know that we can send text message to each and every one of our mobile numbers, but now I'll be able to send a business text message to a business phone number. Many of us, we don't want to give out our cell phone number to the world. We want to be able to separate our personal lives from our business lives. net2phone has created the solution where my business phone number can be used for phone communication, messaging, and chat all in one dashboard. The baseline is that we look to offer hosted PBX cloud telephony solutions to businesses not only in the United States, but to businesses all over the world. I really want the managed service providers and the registries of this actual webinar to realize that net2phone is a global service. This is not limited to the United States. I am actually delivering this webinar from our new office in Ottawa, Canada. As we've expanded into the Canadian market, we are now able to offer hosted PBX and unified communications across Canada. We're able to offer it across South America and many other markets around the world. Now, in order to do this, in order to provide a very reliable, stable, featured-rich solution, we need to have the ability to have in-country local support. At the end of the day, artificial intelligence is great. Robots are even cooler, but I believe in human intelligence. Human intelligence is something that net2phone really prides itself on, is really net2phone's number one asset. We have the most talented, dedicated project managers, onboarding engineers, and support managers to make sure that all the elements of the solution that you're seeing this afternoon is done in a way and supported in a way that will be very, very important to your business users. Again, managed service providers are probably the most responsible profiled partner that we have in the marketplace. All these different ingredients that you see on this slide is critical. Again, let's bullet some of the features because I really want to be able to walk away from this webinar so that everyone understands the power of net2phone. The ability to be able to program how you want your phone system to work. If you're out on holiday and you want to be able to program your phone to be able to have a call forward to your cell phone while you're away, or if you want to change your welcome greeting for some type of holiday schedule, or if you want to do call screening so that you can monitor who's calling you, if you want to have presence and be able to tell which agents in our office, which members are actually available and not available, if you want to be able to send text messages and use chat widgets and be able to have WebRTC, all of this is included inside the net2phone unified communication feature sets, and all of this is included in the net2phone offering. There's going to be a slide coming in the future slides that's going to show a breakdown between how net2phone treats the marketplace through competitors. Many of the other competitors in the marketplace, they have something called added toppings or additional toppings or tack-ons. I think what net2phone has tried to do so successfully is be able to bundle all these bells and whistles, if you will, into a single dashboard and into a single service offering and into a single price point. The ability to have presence and international calling and call screening, the ability to have your phone services and your chat services on your Polycom phone on your desk, on your computer at work, and on your mobile app on the go is really a hat trick. It's really the ability to communicate across all three devices. Cross-channel communication is something which is very, very important, and it's something that is becoming more important in the untethered world that we live in. And to be able to use all the different features that you see on this slide within that desktop, mobile, or desk phone scenario is unbelievable. Here's a nice snapshot of the actual net2phone dashboard. A recent study shows that customers are more prone these days to want to send a quick message than actually to pick up the phone and call. I know that's true also about email behavior. I don't know about you, but when I look at my email behavior, when I look at my inbox, so many of my emails are chat in nature. net2phone, around 9 months ago, acquired a company in Miami called Live Ninja that is basically a team of messenger and chat developer experts. And we've integrated their messaging expertise and talent into the net2phone core offering, where my 17-year-old daughter, who will now face the workplace before you know it, who tends to be using chat and messaging more than she's using voice, under this single dashboard in net2phone, she'll be able to chat and send SMS and MMS and have voice communications all within a single service offering. Cross multiple channels, messaging across your mobile app, your desktop, and your phone. Live chat. Live chat is becoming more and more popular as the days go on. So the ability to have a website and to be able to be in any professional services vertical and be able to communicate with your site visitors, whether it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning. If you have a site visitor, that site visitor will be able to live chat directly to their customers using the net2phone embedded technology underneath their website. So not only has net2phone brought the core technology of live chat to its ecosystem, it's also delivered a very easy and turnkey way for our business customers to deploy live chat onto their website. Now, what's very unique about this live chat is that very often, again, we live in a very untethered, fast-paced world. If I'm a site visitor and I start communicating with an agent behind the website and it's time for me to run to another appointment, I could automatically and seamlessly transfer the conversation that I'm having with my service provider from my laptop right onto my mobile phone. That is something that only net2phone can do within our unified live chat scenario. As I mentioned before, cross-platform, it has to be in this world. So whether you're using a Mac, whether you're using Windows, whether you're using Android, whether you're using iPhone, the net2phone app is available to use its mobile app directly on its phone. What does that really mean? It means that you as a business owner have the ability to bring your business on the go. You could be in the Bahamas and have your business phone number ring you on this mobile app. Not that you'd like to do that in the Bahamas when you're on vacation, but the feature exists. If you want to be able to send a mobile message from your business phone number, again, not from your traditional cell number, because you don't want to give away your personal cell number off to your vendors or to your associates. But if you want to send a text message from your business phone number, net2phone does that for the MSPs customers. If you want to be able to, again, be a individual who manages the chat that's coming on to your website while you sit on the beach, you're able to manage your chat and respond to your chat while you sit on the beach. So cross-platform is very, very important in a fast-paced virtual world. Again, something that net2phone prides itself on is our international assets. This is a global service. Not only are you able to use these phone communications and chat communications and messaging communications in the United States, but you're able to communicate with all the different countries overseas. Now, do we charge an additional minute fee for when you want to call Singapore? Do we charge an additional minute fee when you call Greece? Not at all. Everything is included. Net2Phone stands by that. We listen to our partners. Our partners want us to sell like the SaaS model, which is basically subscription-based, and throw all the different service offerings that you can into that bundle. We've done that. This is truly a global service, and you could call Mexico unlimited. You could call India unlimited. You could call South America unlimited. So there's no thinking involved. And it's not like you're going to receive your invoice at the end of the month and see all these different separate line items with all these different separate charges because things are a la carte. We do our best to bundle in all the different feature sets that you saw earlier on the slides and the international calling that you see on this slide. So we pride ourselves on our customers. That's our number one asset. Many of the different customers that you see on this screen were managed service providers themselves that cater to these companies in their individual marketplaces. The MSPs have knocked on the doors of some of these very important logos, and they were able to educate their business users on the power of voice over IP, about the power of cloud telephony and unified communications, and how, for example, a real estate agency would, for home services, you know, we're all used to that real estate sign that's on the front of a property, a residential or commercial property. Instead of calling the real estate agent and say, I would like to have a tour of the property, what about just simply texting that sign of the real estate agent saying that I'd like to be able to see a tour of that property? So whether it's the Brooklyn Academy of Music, whether it's Berkshire Hathaway, whether it's Panera Bread, these are all top logos that benefit from Net2Phone's communication sets day in and day out. Again, I made reference to this slide earlier in the presentation that everything is included with Net2Phone. There's no thinking, that we do our best to create a comprehensive bundle that includes all the different feature sets. You want an auto attendant? That's included. You want to be able to program your hunt groups and your queues? That's included. You want to be able to call internationally without thinking about it? That's included. You want to be able to use the service and the feature sets within that cross-platform scenario that I touched on earlier on the presentation? That's included. So when it comes down to the service offering, keeping it simple is critical. And we've done that at Net2Phone, which enables the managed service providers and our partners to be able to sell Net2Phone easily. Let's not forget, Net2Phone is a platinum partner of Polycom. I'm all speaking to you right now through a speakerphone using Polycom's new desktop phones, which are the 50 series phones, has high definition voice. Does our service offering include a bundle phone? Yes. That follows the camp of thought that Net2Phone wants to be able to create bundles which include a phone, include a state-of-the-art IP phone for the business as well. So whether it's the feature sets, whether it's the international calling, whether it's the actual vehicle of the phone itself, that's all included in the Net2Phone service offering. But who is Net2Phone? Behind the technology, behind the feature sets, and behind the capabilities, Net2Phone's parent company is called IDT. IDT is the fourth largest global carrier in the world. Last year, we did close to $1.6 billion worth of revenue, north of 1,000 employees. We operate in markets all over the world. I have personally visited Net2Phone and IDT's offices all over the world. A few weeks ago, I was in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I was in Sao Paulo. I'm now today in our office in Ottawa, Canada. Why? Because we're a global footprint. We're a global service. We offer all the different elements and feature sets that you saw in today's webinar. We're offering internationally as well. But we're doing it in a way where we're acting globally, but we're thinking locally. We have a local team that is here to support your customers in all the different markets. A lot of the feedback that I get from managed service providers is, I don't want to be in the telecommunications business. This is a perfect partnership where you have the client relationship, you're able to educate, you're able to onboard, but then all the dirty work is our responsibility to provision the customer, to onboard the customer, to fulfill the phones to the customer, and all the different service and support is ours. So again, managed service providers are the proper educator, and Net2Phone has a very robust back office that does all the rest. I want to again thank everyone who came to attend this webinar. I also want to thank again Datto, which is serving as a perfect partner within the MSP community. Once again, I want to thank Denise D'Arienzo, who's been instrumental in us being able to market out to our partner community our Net2Phone hosted PBX Unified Communications Partner Program. If any of you are interested to learn more behind the details of the technology, the product sets, the feature sets, the pricing, the partner elements, please email today, partner@net2phone.com, and we'll have one of our dedicated channel managers contact you immediately to learn more about your customer base, to learn more about your needs, and how we could serve as educators in the realm of voice over IP. Thank you for attending.
Thank you, Jonah. And if you do have any questions for either Jonah or myself, you can drop them in either the chat or the question box. We did have a few questions come in, Jonah. So for you, is there remote desktop support access available with Net2Phone?
Absolutely. So that's a great question. That sounds like the type of question that a managed service provider would want to ask, because they want to make sure that they could do things themselves in an autonomous way, that they themselves could log in remotely to a web portal and be able to modify, provision, configure. Let's say a business wants to add a new team member, right? So again, I gave the example of Verizon. Do I have to wait for 3 weeks? No, the MSP themselves could go in remotely and be able to program a new team member for their customers. So the answer is unequivocally yes. The managed service provider or the partner would have the ability to remotely modify, configure, or provision new services for their customer.
Thank you. And for we have a question about SMS services. So is it currently available right now for your partners, and is it using Net2Phone service, or is it a third-party service?
Everything that you've seen on the screen is Net2Phone's new next-generation platform GUI and interface, 100% proprietary, owned and managed. Nothing is third-party in what you saw today. Everything is embedded. Everything is organic. Everything is Net2Phone. This is our platform that has the voice, the chat, the widget, the SMS, the MMS. Everything is proprietary management. Our technology is hosted by us, and this is our next-generation platform, completely managed by us day in and day out.
So we also had a question about installation costs and if there are any with Net2Phone.
Great. So that's another question. One of the themes that I tried to stay consistent with during this webinar, Andrea, is that Net2Phone does everything we can not to charge and create these line items when the end user gets the invoice at the end of the month. They have all these different surprises. You know, when we send out the phones and when we provision the hosted PBX cloud telephony solution, there are no setup fees. There are no install fees. There are no one-time development fees. And everything is inclusive in our service offering so that when the end user, the business on Main Street, receives their Net2Phone credentials to get started, everything is bundled into that one service offering.
Excellent. And then just a few more. So is there voice transcription available right now?
Great question. The answer is yes. Within the Net2Phone next generation platform, which Andrea demoed today with you, voicemail transcription comes, and is there a charge? No. That voicemail transcription, which is such a good feature, is now embedded within the Net2Phone service offering as well. So yes, this service does come with voicemail transcription, all included within the Net2Phone service offering.
Excellent. And finally, we had a question about getting a copy of the webinar to show potential new customers. Do you have, is this slide deck going to be customer facing, or do you have a slide deck that you're able to send out that is customer facing for the attendees on this webinar?
I would say the answer is both, and let me explain. Yes, these slides will be available for those managed service providers and partners that want to be able to educate their clients on Main Street about Net2Phone and our services. But I'd also say that Denise D'Arienzo, who's happened to be sitting right next to me, she's our channel marketing manager. She creates co-branded marketing slicks for our partners to be able to communicate and educate to their client sets more about Net2Phone and our solution and our feature set. So if the slides during this webinar suffice and they do the trick, if you will, by all means. But if there's a particular prospective partner that's on this call that would like to do something a little bit unique for their customer base, maybe in a co-branded fashion, we do that again at no charge as well. We want to hear from you. And again, that's partner@net2phone.com. That's partner@net2phone.com.
Thank you, Jonah. And so with that, we're going to close out the webinar. I wanted to say thank you to both Jonah and Denise for joining me today in the webinar, and for all of you who took the time to watch the webinar. A recording will be sent out after this, so feel free to look for that, as well as on our website at datto.com. So thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a good day.